Hi guys, today I'm dusting off my old setting and I just wanted to do something that's a little bit more of a heart-to-heart and discuss the different ways that you can improve on your style by the age of 30. I'm personally in my 30s, and so there's different things that I can right now reflect on about when I was in my 20s. I think that if I were to look back, I would remember being in my 20s, like coming out of like high school and just not really wanting to dress too young, but then also I didn't quite feel comfortable dressing too mature either. And so I was starting to have these new responsibilities in life, and like I was coming into full like womanhood, and I wanted to sort of reflect that in my clothing. But in your 30s, I've found that you just really start to know who you are and like really walk in that and come into that and let other people be okay with it. There's just such a confidence, I think, that happens at this stage in life. So if you find that you are wanting to have these different things met regarding your style by the age of 30, it's never too late, it's never too early to start to get this right. The first lesson to start learning about your style by 30 is to use your clothing as your voice. It becomes the first thing that people see about you before they shake your hand, and it's the first thing that people know about you before you greet them and say hi. It expresses who you are, what you think about yourself. It expresses the things in life that you like. It also can speak these things even if you have a strict dress code. It's something where you can really start to communicate things about yourself before anything else is said. And it's so powerful because it also commands respect. It's a way where I didn't even fully understand that until I started to dress in a way where I almost could dictate how people should treat me. I know that sounds weird, but it's like people are going to treat you a certain way based on their perception of you. And so that's sort of a life lesson. It's something that I think we internalize more than we should. But if you are going to actually be in the driver's seat of this decision, use your voice, just like you would in how you actually use your actual vocal cords and like bring sound out of your mouth to tell people something. It's the same way in how clothing is really manners. It's a way of introducing yourself and also finding things in common with people. It's a way of breaking the ice. So many times through exploring my personal style, I've been able to have icebreakers with people I just met because we like the same type of shoes, or if it's a band tee, I always give that example. If we like the same band, that's also a way where you can break the ice and use your voice to really express things about yourself. Even things like the way that your fabric drapes. Like today I'm wearing something that's a little bit more free-flowing. It's not very structured, and it's starting to represent me in the way I hold my body and carry my body. A lot of women in their 20s use clothes as a way to fit in because you haven't quite found yourself a lot of times by that age, and so you're just sort of trying to find, who you want to be by mimicking what other people are dressing like. But in your 30s and beyond, you dress more to stand out. You know who you are prepared for your day, you know what you have to do in that day, and so you're just here for it. And that's where you want to get to be in your style, no matter your age. Next, start to view your closet as something that you collect over time. You want to build it over time. It's not something where you just start buying up a bunch of pieces that are trendy and of the moment just to throw them out later. This is one of the things I talk about, I think, on my channel the most, is just moving away from that idea of a trendy sort of throwaway culture and more towards something that represents you properly. And this can really only be done slowly. It's something where, you could look into your closet and just every piece starts to represent you properly. I was actually watching a YouTube video the other day where this, perfect French girl, right? She has the most eclectic wardrobe, but it's something where every piece was a memory that she had, or like she had this awesome jacket from LA in the 1920s, like it was a vintage jacket, and she was able to have that, and she's had it for so long in her own life, and it's something she can always throw on over just the most basic jeans and tee. But it represents her, and it's almost like this rocker style. So there's ways that you can still express yourself truly while slowly building it. It doesn't have to be bland or boring. I think that when we do that, we start to unpack memories. Like there's an association to that shirt now because I went to like a friend's party in it, and now every time I put it on, it's like I have that memory that I'm carrying with me. And so then you can really start to walk in confidence because it creates this like, who is she attitude to your outfit every day just by having these pieces that you're so proud of, no matter their cost or their value to someone else. The next lesson that you have to learn by 30 is that guilt doesn't belong here. When it comes to personal style, I've talked with so many women about the things that they feel about their wardrobes and the clothes that they wear. And a lot of people feel a certain level of guilt, and they look to people online for answers as to the right amount of pieces to own, the right amount to spend. And a lot of times it's like, oh, I spent too much on something, or I wouldn't feel right about spending a certain amount on a piece that I really love. Or I should only buy things on sale. There's so much to unpack as far as guilt. And so in what I've found is to walk away from these ideas of guilt by pursuing intentionalism. It's a word that I use so much throughout my course and throughout my content here, is just being intentional. And when you are intentional, then nobody can tell you the right amount of pieces to own or the right amount to spend on each item in your wardrobe, which is such a personal thing that only you know, your budget, maybe your spouse. But beyond that, there's really no room for letting other people dictate what's right for you and your personal life. So with that, just remember, we're grown adult women now. By 30, you should be in the driver's seat of what works for you, what represents you properly. And then it's not a big deal if the right shoes might be a splurge to you, but it works and it will work for your everyday life. And you just know that this is that missing piece from your wardrobe. Then that's leading with intentionalism. You know, early on when I first got into art, I've been studying art for like over 20 years. And when I first began it, I was taking lessons really young, and there was this little kid who was in my class, and he was the most amazing animator. And I just was thinking, how is it that animation, like every little scene has to be drawn, like it didn't exist before that moment, and then drawn multiple times to like actually make something that's an animation. And that's what I love about art, is that every little piece needs to be intentional if it's gonna be good art or not. And that's the same with your wardrobes. It's like, if you are intentional about everything you bring in, then there's no guilt in that. It's like it had to exist. And that's the sort of confidence and intentionalism I'm hoping that you can lead with your wardrobes. Next, quality over quantity becomes real in all areas of life. I think that we already know this. It's hard to put into practice to prioritize quality over buying up several things. Every day that I live on this planet, the more I realize that this is so critical to lead with. Not only with clothing. Obviously, if you were to spend $100 on something that would be quality, it might outlive several items of the same thing that you would have cycled through in that time period, and it wouldn't have that patina of showing the wear of something that you really love and cherish and have those memories attached to it. So that's why quality is so important. But beyond just that, think through different things like your home items. It's the same there. In fact, it goes beyond just material things, but quality friendships, quality relationships, those are the things you start to take care of, better care of, if you don't have quite so many. When I was in college, I just was wanting to be friends with everybody, and I just had this huge collection of friends, and it was one of the most amazing moments in my life, is just to have that. But I liked to go deep with a few friends in particular. And so that's what I've found as I get older, is that you start to have just more quality time to bring into people. It's not that you have more time, it's just you want to spend it on the right things. And so that's true of clothing too. It's not that you have necessarily more clothing, it's just that you want to take really good care of the things that you do collect, because they're so important. And next, your style is not for others, it's for you. I was talking with some musician friends of mine this weekend. We're gonna make some really cool music too that I get to share with you soon. But what was so cool in that moment is I was trying to express sort of what I talk about on this channel and in my online presence of fashion and style and what it actually means. And they came up with a really cool visual, which is just like a woman standing in front of the mirror and discovering really who she is, different features and different things that she likes about herself. And I feel like that's the most powerful thing, is when you start to discover who you are and what you like about yourself. And I don't know why that seems so difficult or like such a genius concept, but it is so critical to find those discoveries. There's so much to like about yourself and how you're unique and what you bring to the world that no one else could possibly bring. And so when you start to discover that about yourself, different things maybe even in your past that you really enjoy thinking about, or people that you love, then that starts to come through visually in the things that you wear. And so that's really when it's not about other people. It's not what they think of you or what they perceive nearly as much as it is about what represents you properly. And one thing I've been talking about here too is there's room for you to take up space. You have that right. You have this being that's standing on the ground, and like you can move your arms out and you can take up space. Like you have this right. It's not something that other people can take away from you. And so don't be scared, don't be shy about expressing, even if it's at the beginning, like just expressing yourself a little bit more than you used to through your wardrobe. It could be through something as simple as a piece of jewelry. You could start there, or with shoes. Everybody notices a good quality shoe, and that can bring you so much confidence. But again, it's not about what others think as much as it is about you. It's about wearing this like superhero cape where you know that you can accomplish things in your day. And I think more people now are working from home too, or just not seeing as many people as they used to. And that's where it becomes even more critical to not let that slip. Like, don't let that fade away, that not self-importance, but it's just a right to get ready in your day and to feel confident for what you have to do and feel beautiful and feel like you can bring into your day all these things that make you inspired. So this is where it gets much deeper than just clothes. It's not material nearly as much as we think it is. It's worth so much more to consider, and only you can determine what is authentic to your style. Some people online might say what's authentic to me might be what they thought was a few years ago versus now, but that's not true at all. Only I can be in the driver's seat of what's authentic to my style. And it's the same with you. It's something where you can really discover this for yourself, and it's something that I'm so passionate about. It went way deeper when I started viewing it as an art perspective or a design perspective, where I can infuse things and build things up to work for myself on a practical level, and then really just infuse my own taste and my own loves for things. And so that's why I have built my whole content on this channel and in my course and on Instagram. And like what I'd rather say more than, I'm definitely going to do clothing reviews and all that, but it's so much deeper than that, to find what really works for you. And so that's what I guess I would challenge you with. And maybe this year could really be a year where you start to allow yourself to explore that on a deeper level. And so that's why too, like with my course, I'm going to be teaching. I've actually got like 600 people right now that are already going to take this course for the first time, February 28th, and I'm going to lead them through rebuilding their closet, seeing themselves in a new light in a way where other people aren't going to be dictating. It's completely independent study too, so that's built that way so that we don't have those voices from outsiders anymore. We can really say like, who told you to dress the way you do? And you can start to discover that for yourself. And it's just so fun to see like what people come up with in that. So if you want to join me for my personal style course, you can definitely do that by joining at the link below. I'll also try to leave it clickable on the screen if you're viewing it here on desktop or mobile. And then if you're like watching this on your TV, you can go to dearlybethany.com and find out about it there. But I'd love for you to join me, and I'll also be creating a lot more content here on this channel Throughout the year, I've got like a full content map like planned out. So if you have any other video ideas that you want, then you can leave those down in the comments as well. And I'll see you next time. Bye.